All right, in this video, we're going to go through how to factor. This is going to be more comprehensive, like you have no idea how to factor versus, you only struggle with the signs. If you are someone who only struggles with the ending or the signs, I would go watch the other videos on Canvas versus this one, because this one's going to be talking about, hey, how do we do everything? I'm also going to sound kind of frustrated in this because the iPad's all just updated and it messed up all the settings. So this is actually the second time I get to remake this video. When we are factoring, it is going to be primarily a trinomial. That means it has three things. It will be written in standard form, which means it follows the pattern m squared m1. Now, this problem also, they usually are just x's because of where we are headed. Even though this is m's, it doesn't matter. It's all the same. The first thing we need to do is we need to identify our A, B, and C values. They will always be in the same spot because when things are in standard form, by definition, those letters will always be there. So for this problem, A is going to be the number in front of my variable squared. In this case, A is 1. B is the coefficient of the thing to the first power. So m to the first power, that is going to be 13. And C is our last number. The first thing that we are going to do is we're going to multiply A and C together. 1 times 22 gives me 22. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to find all of the factors of 22, and I want to find what factor multiplies to 22 and adds to positive 13. I am getting these values from A, C, and B. All right, so what I would do is I would grab my factor chart. I would write down all of the factors of 22. Now, 22 is a positive number. We get positive numbers of multiplication by multiplying two positive numbers or two negatives. If you are somebody who struggles with filling out this table, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to say, cool, all of the numbers are positive. And then I'm going to rewrite this list, and I'm going to flip all of the signs. I am doing that because this lays out every combination that could possibly have multiplied to give me, in this problem, 22. And now I'm going to go through and I can add each of these pairs together to try to find which pair adds to positive 13. So I would go through 1 plus 22, that gives me 23. Neat. I don't want that. 2 plus 11 gives me 13. Awesome. These are the two numbers that I want. And I am going to rewrite this equation as m squared plus 2 plus 11 plus 22. Now, whatever this thing here is, I am going to put there. So my B had a variable term of m, so those numbers I just found, the 2 and 11, have m's on it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the GCF of the first and second thing. I'm going to find the GCF of the last two things. So to do that, I write out all of the factors. And then I'm going to write my parentheses. In the first parenthesis, I will always put my GCF. In the second parenthesis, I will always put my leftover. Now I'm going to go through and I'm going to find my GCF. Here, the GCF is 1m. And over here, the GCF is 11. So in my first parenthesis, I'm going to write 1m and 11. And then I'm going to come back here. What is left over? 1m and a 2. 1m and a 2. If we did everything right, those two things should be the same. In this case, they are. So I'm going to write those in the second parenthesis. Now, I have not put signs there yet. How I know what my signs are is I would take this sign right here, and I'm always going to drop that down to my first pair or my first parenthesis. Then the sign right here in front of the 2m, I'm going to take that, I'm going to drop it down to my second parenthesis, and this will always work. So here is a quick way for how we could factor. This will work for anything if a is a different number, if the signs change, all of that. I'm going to do one more example problem just so you can see what happens as signs and a changes. Again, the first thing I'm going to do is write down my A, B, and C value. All right, AC is going to be 24. So I want all of the numbers that multiply together to give me 24, and I want to know what to add together to give me negative 11. So from my factor chart, I would write down all of the numbers that multiply together to give me 24. 24 is positive, so I could have two positive numbers, or I could have two negative numbers. All right, and I'm going to try to find which one of these 8 pair add together to give me negative 11. 1 plus 24 is 25. Nope. 2 and 12, 14. Nope. 3 and 8 give me positive 11, but I want negative 11. So while I know it's not going to be this one, I can just skip all of this and just jump down to negative 3 and negative 8. Then I'm going to rewrite this problem. The order in which I write these two numbers does not matter. Now I'm going through and I'm writing out all the factors of my terms. I'm going to circle my GCF. So my GCF is a 4x and a 3. Again, I'm not doing the signs. I'm going to get that here in a minute. Sorry about that. Then, what is left over? A 1x and a 2. And a 1x and a 2. Again, these two things are the same. I did everything correct. And so I'm going to write it in that second parenthesis. All right, from here, this sign drops down. This sign drops down. And there's me factoring 4x squared minus 11x plus 6. Ideally, this helps you start being able to do practice. If you have more questions, make sure you are reaching out to me. But again, this is how we would factor a trinomial.